Hello and welcome back and happy Thanksgiving. Today was a really good day for me. My second born daughter came over. She came over before I was supposed to Zoom my father. There was a delay in that, so then we left to go eat, and that was pleasant. It was really nice, and it went really well. We went to Golden Corral. It was her choice. Nothing wrong with that. They have good food. They let me get a to-go container because I told them, being $20 a person today and as little as I eat, I asked if I can have the rest of my food in a to-go container. And she was like, yes. And I thanked her and gave her a big tip. And then there was a manager there that when we walked in, her and another manager would hold up their fingers depending on the amount in a person's party to be sat. She had an awesome attitude. We were walking away to our table, I thanked her, and she smiled, and she reminded me of my aunt, the one that I personally was close to. I had walked with my daughter to get something, I can't remember what it was, and back through, my daughter's in front of me, and I saw that the manager wasn't busy, and I approached her and I said, you have a great attitude, please don't change. And she thanked me, and then when we were fixing to leave, I didn't have a lot of cash on me. I had $4. No, I had $1 and my daughter had $4, and I'm like, there's got to be a way I can get cash. So I approached that manager. Actually, it was a different one. He said, yeah, we could pull it out for you here. And he said, how much would you like? And I told him. He took my card and gave it to me. And while I was waiting, I was talking to the woman manager that I liked. And I told her, you remind me of my aunt. I was really fond of her, blah, blah, blah. And then she hugged me. And because I told her that my aunt had passed. She was so sweet. And then we left. We went to get Worm. Yes, Worm. It's a silly nickname, but fitting and cute. My daughter's dog is a Chiweenie. He has a really long body and a small head, and he's a little overweight, like 5 pounds, 4 pounds, not bad. Somewhere in his life did she come up with the name Worm. And so he's often called Worm and never by his name Felix. And because I love the little thing, I call him Grub, my grub worm, because he's fat. I mean, he really doesn't look fat. You could just tell by looking at him. He's just a tad bit over. Not a spooky overweight at all. Nothing to be concerned about. The vet is never concerned. I call him Grub and Worm, and she calls him Worm. And even my downstairs neighbor knows him as Worm. She'll ask me from time to time, how's Worm? And then we got home. I had told my sister, how about 6? And so we get home, and she answered and said that Dad wasn't making sense, and that I would probably have to do all the talking. And of course I said, okay. And she said, he's crying because I told him he needs to be in a wheelchair. And he said his lips were hurting. She says, none of this just makes sense. And of course I told her he's got Lewy body dementia. He's 77 years old, and he's mentally not in a normal place because of his, what do you call that? Disorder? I didn't know how to title that. But I said, you need to be patient with him and understand that it's demeaning for a man to put himself in a wheelchair. Some men have a difficult time of aging. He knows that he's mentally not in a good place anymore. And I think that he struggles with all of it. So yeah, he's going to cry. She said we need to do it another time. And I said, okay. And then my daughter and I played Yahtzee, and she won every single game. I think we played 4 games of Yahtzee, and she beat me every time. That usually doesn't happen. And we finished decorating my mini Christmas tree. I want to do this on every holiday. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, it would be cute that I do this on every holiday and birthdays. I don't know whose birthday, maybe mine, maybe my kids also, and maybe even you, to decorate my coffee table with something pertaining to that holiday. Like my Christmas tree is itty bitty. It's got battery operated Christmas lights. I might show it to you. I'll attach a picture. How about that? Because I'm using my phone, which is my camera. I really don't want to take it off, take a picture and show you. And I have it on my tripod and have to unhook everything and then take a picture. So I'll just stick a picture in there when I'm done and editing. I can stick it in there. And then we had popcorn. And then my daughter went home because she's been with me a bigger part of the day, and I enjoyed it, of course. I really wished she was here to meet my dad, and that was very important to me and kind of heartbreaking today because I had my hopes up for that, especially. Maybe another time. He hasn't met any of my kids. He held my oldest when I had her at 21, and that was the last time I seen him, was when I was 21. And now in 2 months I'll be 54, so it's been a very long time. She was a newborn and he held her, and I think I have those pictures in my album. I need to look for them. I felt I get so confused on what to title these beings that are around me. I know that there are more than just my guides that come to me, but I just don't know who's always there. I feel them. Sometimes I see them. I had 3 women in my third eye yesterday, I think it was, and I don't ever recall seeing the likeness of these beings. They're not real hard to describe. I think they were bald, big eyes, real big eyes. They had like purple capes on. I want to say they were capes. I'm not 100% sure. Very beautiful. Their skin tone, I think, was like a creamy tan, maybe. Sometimes I don't see things really clear, and sometimes only specific areas of them I see more clear than others. But I felt a gathering around us today. I couldn't tell. And then I was really focused on our game and spending time with my daughter. I wasn't really going to try to tap into it. My hair is wavy today because it's raining. And when it's raining, it's humid. No, not humid. Mucky. And my hair does what it wants. And it's not always pretty. I did have a visit last night, and it was different. It was really different, and yet frustrating. So I'm laying in bed, and I had a lot of thoughts running through my head while I was doing my color by numbers. But I don't remember at this time what it was. But I put it down when my pills kicked in, and I went to bed a little late. Not bad. And then I think I just laid my head down and laid there. Then I started feeling something on the bottom of my foot, because I was on my left side and my left leg was extended out where the top of my foot was on the mattress and the sole of my foot was facing up. And this is the foot that I had surgery on the Achilles tendon. I felt movement in the sole of my foot, and I'm like, what is that? And now that I'm saying all this, I remember, I think it was my other foot. I had pain shooting through it. And I remember thinking, if that's you, that really hurts. And I forgot that until just now. And then I actually had to move my foot. It was my other foot, my good foot. And I really had to, move it, like get away from whatever it was doing, but I didn't know it was there doing whatever. And then I kept feeling that on my foot. And then I kind of looked around, and I think it was a haze in my room. And so I'm kind of looking, and it's so funny because here lately I can see things moving without a haze or anything. I looked up and something moved. I was really focused in there. I knew something was there. I just knew it because I felt it, for one. I remember laying there, not doing anything, and just really thinking, what are they doing? And I'm gonna lay here just to make sure I'm not losing my mind or imagining, and there's actually a being down there. So it kept doing it. And then a part of me was like, is it trying to get my attention? Was it like doing this or something? I don't know. So I looked down there, and I'm just, really focusing. And then there was a slight haze, and my TV was on, of course, and it was like bright, dim. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, it was different. I seen what looked like two eyes. I don't know if these beings wear things like as decorations on their face, or like lenses, or I don't know. But I saw two little shiny things shine through the haze when my TV lit up. And you can tell like they were looking around, and they might have been looking around because the TV was doing what it was doing. Its head was probably just below my ceiling fan. And I remember sitting there thinking, you're really tall. I have a lot of tall ones that come to me. And then I remember thinking, well, your eyes are really close together and itty bitty. And I said out loud this time, I would really love for you to reveal yourself and communicate with me. That would mean a lot to me. I paused and I waited a good while. I even waved at it and nothing. And I waited a good maybe 2-3 minutes. I don't know if that's an adequate time or not. I don't know. But I gave up because they never want to voluntarily expose their entire selves to me. I don't know what that's about. I really don't. I do know that my mother, who's Queen, and I made a video of her, when she was slowly appearing before me, of course she asked first, that it's really weird how we are afraid of things we've never seen. And seeing these beings in pictures and other things, you think that we've become accustomed, but we really don't. But when I seen her, and then I started seeing her eyes, that's what got me, was her eyes. And I know without a doubt that this being was loving. She was my mother. And those eyes are beautiful to me. They really are. I've seen pictures of them. They're beautiful. But when the outlines of her face started coming through, she knew I was becoming, I don't know if you would call it afraid or what, but I just remembered saying either hey, or wait. I don't remember what my words were. And she went to transparent again. So maybe that's why they don't. After that, she said baby steps. So I'm like, okay, I'm okay with baby steps, but can we do bigger baby steps? Can we do this more often instead of once in a while? Because it's like, if I am scared of what she looks like, and then she disappears again for a long length of time, and then she comes back, it's like we have to start over. If she comes to me like every night and tries, every night's got to get better. But at this point, I don't think that I would be scared of her anymore. I really don't. And I think that has took a lot of thinking and talking to myself, communicating with my higher self, because they always listen. They are you. They're just quiet. I want to say one more thing. Sometimes when I channel, I'm not 100% sure of where it comes from. Sometimes I think it's my guide. Sometimes I think it's another being. But I was thinking the other day, and I felt that this information was channeled to me. I was like, who am I really always talking to? And a part of me come up with a answer of it was my higher self. Because your higher self is the oversoul. And they communicate with many. And when you hypnotize somebody and you're talking to their higher self, it's like a communion of entities that talk and share information. And that's hard to wrap your mind around. But that's what your higher self is. So I don't know if my father, Orrin, talks to my higher self and my higher self talks to me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I communicate with him and channel him also. All of this stuff is so huge. And to put all that in your head, your human head, and think about it is insane. This is a long video and it's not getting too late, but it's getting later in the evening and I'm tired. On a quick note, I will update you on something. I got some of my blood tests back. My protein is almost non-existent. And that's probably why I'm tired. I did not even think about it. I hardly ever eat meat anymore. I just saw an orb. And a noise. I will screenshot it for you. But anyway, back on track. I hardly ever eat meat. I eat a lot of fruit and cream cheese and breads for breakfast and stuff, and avocados. I rarely eat meat. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's why I'm tired. And that's why I'm not dropping weight. Now, I tell you, I barely eat. I don't eat meat often. And I don't even really gorge myself. I don't eat a buttload of sweets either. And so I did some research and my knowledge. You have to have a certain amount of protein to even actually lose weight. I ordered some Gen Pro on Amazon today. That crap is expensive. I might just stick it on my wish list. But that will help me. And I won't be so tired anymore once I get a few days in of protein. Okay, I love you guys tremendously, as you know. You should know. If you've watched me for a while, you should know. I will send you a bunch of love, light, and peace, and I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I will talk to you soon. Bye.